Welcome back to One Non-Blonde. I'm your host, Kim, and today I have Bill Foster with me. How are you doing today, Bill?
I'm doing great, and you?
I am doing wonderful. I am so excited to talk to you. We were supposed to talk a while ago, and life just gets in the way. And now I finally get to a chance to talk with you. Especially, I know you're getting ready to start filming again. I know that's been kind of like been put on hold.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
would you guys give us a little tidbit on what you're working on? And
Yeah, you bet. We're working on a movie, and it's called Showdown on the Brazos. And we thought we had it through, and then when we put it to the second round of editors, we decided there's a few scenes we need to add. Already written the scenes, but we want to shoot those because when you have a script that's 150 pages long, sometimes you don't record all of it, and some we had cut out and decided not to. We're going to go back and film those. And just as we got ready to do that, of course, the COVID virus hit, put everything on hold. And so now we're back to filming. The 20th, we're going to film, and the 27th, we're going to film, and then July 10th to the 12th, we're going to film, and hallelujah, we'll be done, hopefully. And
yay!
it's a Western, period piece I wrote and directing and starring in. And it's been really crazy because when we started this movie, we were going to have 3 or 4 actors, friends of mine. And once they read the script, they jumped on board. And I thought, maybe we might have something here. And now we've got over 250 actors involved and a whole film crew, and it's turned into a feature. And it's won a lot of awards so far as the script goes, trailer goes. It's just been pinch myself to see if it's really real.
I'm excited. I wish I could go and be an extra, so I'd be number 251. I would love to be in your film. Maybe next one.
Anything.
Maybe next one. You'll have to call me because I have to drive. I have to fly to Texas from Clearwater.
Well, where are you located at? Where are you located at now?
Clearwater, Florida.
Okay. And my next one, once we sell this one, we hope to film it in New Mexico. So we'd fly you to Albuquerque or Santa Fe because that's where we plan to film that one. And so can't wait to get started. Of course, got to finish the first one, but it always gets those creative juices going to start that second one too. So
I love Westerns. Anybody who's a fan of my show knows that I'm American Studies was my degree in school, and I did my whole thesis at the end for my senior project with the American Western and the film genre. So I sat through a lot of Westerns and wrote on how the whole social impact of the Western, really you could see what was going on during the time that they were made, like all the different unrest with political things and racism and feminism and all. I mean, you could just see it all. Violence, like during the Vietnam War, you could see the movies were a little bit more violent. And so it was very interesting.
Yeah, and I wrote this in the old style, like you're talking about, the old John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Glenn Ford era. Yeah, and something, and I don't know if it'll make the big screen right now. We're talking to a lot of different distributions, and they're talking about the online streaming, which the big screen is really, I hate to say dying out, but I wanted it to make it where the family could go out on Saturday afternoon, sit down and watch a Western and come out an hour and a half later thinking, wow. And then they've enjoyed themselves for an hour and a half, or entertained, and maybe go out to eat or something like that. And there's not, of course, every Western's got violence in it, but there's not any cussing, sex scenes, or anything like that. So it's probably going to be PG, maybe PG-13 due to the gun violence, which there's not a lot. I made sure it wasn't overly bloody because my grandson and granddaughter's in it. I want them to be able to see the final product. But so many, and John Wayne was talking about this on the Shootist. So many get so wrapped up into seeing blood fly everywhere. We imply all but one scene where we use a squib, but we don't show hardly any blood at all. I mean, if you watch the old Westerns, they didn't either.
No, they didn't.
You didn't see blood flying. You didn't see blood-soaked clothes. I was an extra in one movie, and the guy came out and had blood from head to toe after a fight. I'm just like, it lost me right there. So I swore at that point I wasn't going to make sure. I was going to make sure I didn't have that in my movie. So can't wait to get. Like I said, we thought we had the finished product, but it's going to be so much better now. It's so great to get another set of eyes to look at it and tell you this is really good. Let's rechange this. And he's also doing color the colorizing of the movie, and it makes it so much different. Special effects, and then my music composer Evan Evans. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but have you ever heard of Bill Evans, the jazz pianist back in the '60s? I think 18-time Emmy award-winning jazz pianist. This is his son,
Oh wow.
and so he's doing the score for me, and I can't wait to hear what he has developed. So that's kind of where we are right now.
It sounds amazing. Now I have to ask you a question because I saw one of your casting people that you had. So welcome to the cast, Meg. How is it to work with Meg?
Meg, I bought her just for the movies, and unfortunately she was going to be in the next scene, but it got put off. So she's an expectant mother now.
Oh
and
no.
So she's going to have a litter of puppies, and so she can't be in the movie. We had her in one scene, and it got cut out. But yeah, Meg, she's a blue tick coonhound, and I bought her because she is time period, because a lot of breed dogs weren't back then in the Westerns. So I got her so I could put her in my Westerns. And she has become somewhat of a spoiled pet. For a dog, she loves to hug you. So if you're sitting there, if you let her get up in your lap, she'll put both her arms around your neck and put her head on your shoulder. And she's just hugging you. And she's like, okay, that's enough, But she's just a sweetheart. And Rose, she is an adopted dog that we got, and she's already in the movie, and so we put her in the movie, and so we kind of at the end of the movie we put credits to her and try to get people to adopt their dogs, for the local pound and Humane Society, I guess is the more political term now. But we got Rose several years ago. She was on her way to the Humane Society, so they stopped by my office before I retired and said, "You need this dog." And I don't need that dog. Just come and look at her. And so I went out there, and so of course, as soon as I opened the door, okay, get in my truck. It's over.
Heart melts. I had my husband and I. This was years ago. We went to the Humane Society, and we were looking for a dog for the kids. We had the two older kids. We had 5 altogether, but it was just when they had the 2 little ones. And we found a blue tick hound dog, a coon dog. Oh my gosh, so cute! I love them. The best dog from sundown to right before sun up. She was the greatest dog, loving, sat next to the kids, was like, the best dog you could think of. Soon as the sun started to rise, she was out there treeing like possums, squirrels, whatever. But see, the problem is that, they have that, that really loud. Okay, I lived in a neighborhood that didn't appreciate that. I would have the neighbor, she would be banging on my door every morning, yelling at me. She's like, "Get that dog in the house." I'm like, how can I? My dad, God rest his soul, I miss him so much, but I'll never forget. It was Christmas Eve. My husband had to go to work for a little bit. The dog went out. There was a possum. There was a huge possum in our tree. And I had let the dog out, and she wouldn't stop howling. I had the neighbor banging on my door, yelling at me, threatening to call the police. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what am I supposed to do? So I called my dad. I said, "Dad, I need you to come in and help me get this dog, in the house," because she wouldn't listen to me. So I go out there with my dad, and he's like, "I'll be dang." He's like, "That dog, that's a big possum." He's like petting her and praising her. I'm like, "No, Dad, you're supposed to be getting her in the house." And he's like, "Neighbor's having a great old conversation about that possum."
Like, yeah, when Meg gets on something, it can be an hour or two before she quits barking.
Exactly.
We brought her into town. She does really good in town. I was surprised. We did it just for a test. We leave her at the vineyard most of the time so she can go hunt and do all she wants to do, because we see them every day, go out there every day. But, fixing to bring her in. But yeah, she gets on something. She's a good snake dog. I mean, anything, and just on and on and on. So beautiful sound though, if you like that sound, but neighbors don't always like that. So you're right.
In fairness to the lady, she had just had twins. So she's like, it seems like every time I get my kids to sleep, the dog is barking. I'm like, I really felt bad, but at the same time, it's like, it's part of her nature. I mean,
you can't change her nature.
You can't.
Yeah.
So we ended up having to bring her back because my heart broke for it, but it was just not fair to the dog because she was miserable. she was miserable sitting in the house all day, and I was miserable with the neighbor threatening to call the police on me every day. So it's
Yeah,
just not a good
yeah.
fit.
They're country dogs, and you just gotta love that sound, but not everybody does. And so, and my wife had told me no more dogs. And when King Kong came in, there was Meg, and but instant fall in love with her. And so, yeah, we had planned on putting her in the movie, but then, like I said, COVID hit, and so like I said, she's an expecting mother now, so she'll have a litter of pups when we start filming again. So we won't be able to get her in. So, but we can't wait to get back on set. That's the main thing.
So are you selling those pups, or are you just going to give them away?
Yes. Yeah. No, I'll sell them. Yeah, they're cross. Hog hunting is big in Texas, and had her bred to a big hog dog. I mean, he's high bred, high dollar. And the owner came to me and said, "Man, I see your dog. Saw her out there running around the vineyard.
She's
He wanted to
gorgeous.
breed her." So,
Yeah,
thank you.
she's
And so
gorgeous.
we bred. So we're kind of in partners there. And he was offered a lot of money for the dog at one time, but turned it down. I thought that's where two fools met: the one that offered that much and the one that turned it down. Somebody offered me that much for a dog. They just got him a dog.
Yeah. I know. So after this project, are you working on? You said you're going to work on the one for New Mexico as well. So
Yeah.
you're pretty busy. And you
I'm
do
sorry,
mainly worst westerns, right?
Yes, and I've got a lot of different ideas. Some modern, some I wrote a script called Windows Home, set in the '60s during the Vietnam War. It was performed 9 times last year and had 9 standing ovations. It's a state's theatrical screenplay, but majority of mine are westerns, and so this next one is a western. But the twist is there's a woman as the hero or heroine, however you want to call it, and so. It was a challenge. I wrote 3 or 4 novels, and my wife, she says, "You're always making the man the hero right when the woman the hero." So that's turned down a challenge from my wife, and so that's what I did. And so I finished the novel, and it actually won a pre-publisher's contest, won the best fiction and best overall book manuscript at the contest. And so it's called "I Heard the Quail Whistle," and we've actually named our vineyard, the Quail Whistle Vineyard, Quail Whistle Productions. All of our movies will have a quail whistle in it somewhere along the way. But and there's one distribution company that if we sign with them, it works out, they will fund your next. In other words, I'll sign up with like 3 more movies direct, and so hopefully that will work. And so automatically, it'll be a lot faster that way. But I've got the manuscript transferred over into a screenplay now, and so it's just I'm fixing to start entering it in some contests, try to get a few laurels to put on it, and then rock and roll. Yeah, it's about a woman who goes from being a victim to a vigilante, and left for dead out on the prairie, and she's dead, and marshals are trying to get to retire and touch down, and she's back to health, and then some things happen along the way. She decided to being a victim and start being a vigilante, and so she starts going after the ones that killed her family.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I mean, I love a great Western because, like I said, the Western is like really, it's us. It's it's the American scenery. It's the American backdrop. So I'm excited for you. So now I know that you this is your second wave of a career. So how did you go from what you were doing before to now you're a writer, actor, screenwriter, producer, you name it, dog breeder?
Well, how far we won't go back? When I was in school, I wasn't really good in English, but the teacher would always say it had amazing creativity. And so the actual English part of it's been a real challenge for me all my life. Finally gotten better at it. But you got to do something for a living. And so I taught school for 7 years. I was a principal for 15 years and superintendent for 11, which adds up to about 33 years. And in that process, I was writing, didn't have anything. I had a couple of children's books published, but you wouldn't believe the political firestorm sometimes happens because principals and superintendents such a politicized office also. So I put all that on the shelf and just wrote. I didn't publish anything until after I retired. and I published Showdown on the Guadalupe, my first Western that I had published. And I was just sitting there on Facebook one night, and I've always loved acting. In fact, in second grade, the teacher went around and was asking everybody what they want to do when they grew up. And I was going to tell them I'm going to be an actor. Well, the girl next to me said she wanted to be an actor, and everybody laughed at her. And so I thought, I'm not going to let everybody laugh at me. So I made up something real quick, but not acting. And we were involved, my wife and I were involved in theater a lot, in putting on contests for anywhere from junior high to high school for probably 15 years. And so kind of saw a lot of directing going on. But anyway, I was retired and just saw an open casting call for The Sun, which is a Western, starred Pierce Brosnan in it for AMC Channel. And I thought, well, why not? And so I went down there, thought I'd get, if I got lucky, I might be able to walk down the street. Lo and behold, I stood in line with 1,500 other people and got chosen as a recurring featured extra and got to work with, right beside Pierce Brosnan. And it's been just, it snowballed from there. You know, went from there to Lead a Battle Angel and Ballad Buster Scruggs with the Coen brothers, things like that. So I was always writing, and I read an article one time that says, if you want to get in this business, especially the acting, you take everything you can get, whether there's pay, whether there's food, whether it may just be for, I drove to Oklahoma twice and the movie never made, and all they gave us was a bag of chips and a Coke. So, you know, but, you know, it gave me some, it gave me some experience. And I started watching a lot of independents, and, you know, being a school superintendent principal, everything has to be highly organized. And so I was on some of those sets that weren't organized. So I was sitting there going, oh, what we could do to make this thing go better. And then I got to work with like the Coen brothers and see their side of the show, and all those, you know, Fear the Walking Dead, a lot of those others, and thought, you know, somewhere along the way, I thought, well, let's see if we can make a trailer or something with an iPhone or something. I did do a contest with an iPhone and kind of got me started there. And then we ended up with a camera crew on this movie. But the best decision I made, or we made, I say we, is me and my wife and my cameraman. We were eating supper, discussing what we'd do. And we thought, well, we could try to sell the screenplay. We could shoot a trailer and try to sell both of them. But why don't, since I'm new, the cameraman's new, my wife's new at this, let's just shoot the movie. And then when distribution comes, when we knock on their door, we can say, look, here's our product right here. Instead of, what can you do for us? Well, it'll be, you know, a year before we can get our product to you. Well, we've already got our product here. And a lot of people said that was a stupid mistake. You're doing it all wrong. This is not the way you do it. And then after I got to a certain level and started meeting people, you know, not the entry level, but way up into it, they said that's the best decision that was ever made, because you've got your product right there rather than them taking a chance. They already see what you can do. And so that kind of got the ball rolling on the movie. And we thought it was really going fast for a while, and then it got slowed down a time or two. And then we finally, like I said, finally got a picture lock, and then we went back and decided to add some more scenes, and the new scenes are going to be really, really good. Had to rewrite some of them, and had to write some new scenes because, you know, trying to establish the bad guy being really bad rather than you had in things like that. So got to work with Jeff Davis. I don't know if you've been able to interview him yet or not.
No.
I did a casting call, and he, you know, he's out of LA. He's on everything out there, Law and Order, and he applied, and I was like, really? You know, really? you know, I'm just a rookie at this. You really want? And he's like, I love the script. I want to be part of it. And so we flew him out from LA, and you talk about elevate everybody's game. After we got everybody quit taking pictures with him, you know, everybody's like, picture made with the Hollywood star, but you know, that wore off after a while. But you know, he elevated everybody's game to be that much better actor while he was there for those 2 days. So, and while he was there, I broke my leg. So, and had to, the horse fell on me, and I worked a day and a half with a broken leg, and then directing and acting, and then that was Saturday, Sunday, and then Wednesday had a plate put in. So that's kind of how severe it was broke. But I couldn't have done it Monday, but Saturday and Sunday, nobody knew it Saturday. Sunday, they knew something was wrong. But my wife, a friend of mine was there, and she put him in charge of carrying my chair around with me. and every time I'd stop, he'd put that chair under me and say, sit down. And we'd prop my foot, my leg up, and I sit down. And then I'd get up, walk, and he'd walk with that chair. And as soon as I stopped, sit down. So that's how I made it through the day on Sunday. I even ran on it a couple of times, but had the cavalry style boots on, you know, come up to your knee.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor said that being so high up and the swelling was in there, that kept the bone from coming through the skin. So because I had to finish the scene because I had Jeff there from LA. He wasn't coming back, and had another main actor from Iowa. He's not coming back. So I said, I don't have any choice. We got to finish. We got 100 people here. Crew's here. My wife said, you're silly. You got to go get. Nope. We're gonna make it. And so we got it done. And
the show must go on.
That's right. And there's one scene I told my cameraman was doing some editing, and he was working. I said, see that scene right there? I was about to throw up. I was hurting so bad. He said, you can't tell it. I said, I know, but as soon as I'd go through I was going to rob a bank, and we'd go through the door and then shut the door, and I'd just lean up against the wall going, oh. and then they'd say action, we'd come back out, and I'd say, okay, suck it up. Trying not to limp,
So you gave a new meaning to go to break a leg.
Yeah, I took it little too literal. That's right.
Literal. So I'm not going to tell you to go break a leg. So
no, we don't say that anymore. But my horse, and it wasn't his fault. He was acting up a little bit, and so I thought I'd trot him a little bit. And what I thought was a dirt road on set turned out to be asphalt with just some wood on top of it. And so when I turned him, his horseshoe hit that asphalt and it slipped out from under him.
Poor baby.
Yeah, he was fine. He just got up and started walking around, looking around. One guy saw me and he went over and helped me get back on the horse. He said, are you sure? I said, I got to get on the horse. And so I got back on, rode back in with where they were filming, and didn't tell anybody except he told my wife. And so she walked over and said, what did you do? I said, it's okay. I'll get through.
So exciting. So you got some big name going on with this. You got, you have a lot of things going with this. I'm excited for you. So your future's looking bright. Look, you gotta wear shades.
Well, thank you. We did a trailer just from the first weekend. And when we put it out there, it had 300 views on the first day. And I was excited. I was in Mexico fishing, and I was bragging, hollering to guys, hey, it's 300. It's 320. We've had over 14,000 views now.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. And that's between Facebook and YouTube together. And that, like I say, I pinch myself. And everybody wants another trailer. And I put a semi-trailer out, and it had over 1,000 views real quick. I hadn't checked it lately. But trailers are good and bad at the same time. You don't want to give.
I'm losing you.
Okay, you still there?
Yeah, I was going to lose you, and I'm going to be losing you soon. But yeah, you're good and bad because you don't want to give too much away. Is what you said?
That's right. Yeah, you don't want to give too many trailers away. A lot of people put too many trailers out there, and so we're going to do another one right before, and of course we'll have a premiere for everybody's in movie private viewing, and then whichever distribution company will have, and we'll get it out there.
I'm excited. So I'll definitely have to have you back on again. Now I'm actually doing another independent filmmaker. I'm helping him. He helped me do a video. I'm going to be dropping that. So maybe we could drop some of your pieces of your trailer into this video as well. So that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, and I did a short movie. It's called "I've Got Your Six," where all the actors were veterans. Everybody in front of the camera is actually a military veteran. It's about a World War II veteran. And so be looking for that one once it hits the film festivals.
Oh, exciting. So I just want to, I'm so glad that I had a chance to talk to you, and I'd love to have you back again, especially closer to after you get done with the filming and, the shoot's finished and you got a distribution and you're saying, hey, you need to call me. And let me know so we can put you on and say, here's the world premiere. It's either going to be in the movie theater or, which streaming service is going to have it. Mm-hmm. I know. It's like, I'm hoping the movie theaters come back because I think something like a Western especially has to be seen on a big screen. It just gives it so much more, like you're there.
The depth and country's big. we try to emphasize how big the country is in Westerns, excuse me. And so when you get the big screen, it really, just watch some of the Westerns, to go to the theater and watch them or watch them on a big screen, then shrink them down to a smaller screen. It's just totally different. And, when we were watching mine on the computer, but then when I actually plugged it on the television and saw it big, I was like, whoa, so different. And I saw the trailer on the actual big screen, and man, it was just so great to see that. So different, so dramatic. You're just like, oh wow. So the big screen is so great.
Well, the landscape in a Western is an actor. It is part of it. It definitely is. So it's important to have it seen on the big screen. So I wish you luck on that, and hopefully it is on the big screen. Either way, it's gonna be great. But I think it needs to be on the big screen because it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be epic, I tell you. So where can people find you? I know that you have your Facebook page, and where else did you say you can be seen?
I have an IMDb page. And then also Showdown in Brazos has an IMDb page, and I've got Your Six has one also. Facebook, we've got one, Showdown on the Brazos there. So main thing, it's those two areas there, and you can try to post behind the scene pictures or updates, and so, I posted one the other day that we're filming again, so getting a lot of interest there. People want, it's funny, people that now, they've seen such a success. They're like, oh, I want to be a part of it now. Now,
well, I didn't know you before.
I didn't understand that. Yeah. Now everybody's like, oh, can I be in it? So we're working on that too.
Yeah, write a part for a fat and sassy redhead, and then that'll be great.
Hey, that's right. Hey, man, love the redheads.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, Bill, and I'm looking forward to seeing the movie and also get to talk to you later. And good luck to Meg and her babies. So thanks for listening to One Non-Blonde. This is your host, Kim, and for Always Stay Real.